Good morning and welcome to Sports Shorts Daily on a Monday morning. LSU's headed to Omaha and we got a lot of stuff to talk to you about. I'm Tommy Chrysan, glad to be here. Glad to have you there. I'm live and in color from Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. And as always, we are presented to you by the LeBares Casino and Hotel in Baton Rouge, where you can bet on the College World Series, the NBA Finals, and everything else. Joining me on today's program, Buzzy Hodell, pinch hitting for Ronnie Rance, national champion himself. Buzzy, good morning. How are you?
Morning, TK. Good to be here. I wish we wouldn't have finished so late. I mean, you're on my side of the river. I could have joined you live and in color. Had a little breakfast over at Court Street Cafe. I've told many people this, but that's our favorite little joint on this side to go catch breakfast with the family. We love doing that. So yeah, good spot you're at. And I wish you wouldn't have finished so late last night. I'd be there this morning with you.
Hey, we'll catch you here next time. I know you love coming to Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. LSU loves going to Omaha, and they're going again. Buzzy took care of business against West Virginia, a scrappy team, but just didn't have, top to bottom, LSU was better, and they went out on the field and showed that. You were at both games at the box this weekend. Your general thoughts on the weekend and the sweep of West Virginia?
Yeah, I thought you said had a good point. I mean, they obviously got to this point in the season, and when you win a regional, they always say when you get to the NCAA tournament, you can't take any team lightly because that means they've either played well enough all year to earn a spot, or they may have not played well all year, but in their conference tournament, they did enough to win it, so they're hot at the right time. It's the same is true in the Super Regional. I mean, if any team has won a regional and you've got them in a super regional, you can't take them lightly. Now, with that being said, I was looking at the numbers before the series started, and you hate saying this, and God knows if Jay Johnson heard me say it, he probably would have gone crazy. But I mean, nothing scared you about this West Virginia team. I mean, they were hitting right at 300 as a team, and they had a little bit of over a 4 ERA. So, but if you just dove into the numbers even more, they didn't hit for a lot of power. The pitching staff, just numbers were kind of scattered across a bunch of different guys. You couldn't really tell who their guy really was. So again, on paper, I liked LSU. I liked them from jump. And so, but look, you give West Virginia credit. I mean, they were scrappy against Anderson. They put together some good at bats. They really put together some good at bats the second and third time through against Ianson. But they just walked too many guys, gave LSU too many free passes. They gave 13 free passes on Saturday, 8 walks and 5 hit by pitches. And then I believe it was 9 walks and 3 hit by pitches. At least it was that many at some point in the game. I may have missed 1 or 2. But anyway, over 10 free passes in both games. And so LSU's offense came alive. They were opportunistic. They got the big hit, but and the clutch hits, and they hit the ball out of the ballpark, which it's fun, easy to win baseball games when you hit 3-run homers and grand slams. But I'm happy about the offense for LSU. I do think when they get to Omaha, they're not gonna have teams issuing them 12 and 13 free passes. So the offense has definitely got to continue to get better. But no, a good solid win. Anytime you get to Omaha, it's good. West Virginia, again, you tip your hat to them, but they just didn't have enough pieces to hang with LSU.
Well, when I looked at West Virginia during the week, I knew that guy starting the game one was a pretty good pitcher and,
Yep.
could give him fits. And he's a lefty. LSU struggles with lefties a little bit. But then once they got him out of the game, I texted some buddies. I said, hey, it's over now because the bullpen, there's a reason them guys didn't start. They're not as good as that other guy. So LSU got it done with a lot of help from West Virginia. West Virginia is just not good enough to overcome the base on balls, the errors, and of course the hit batters. You just can't do that. So they had a good season, and they've been good for a while, and they're going to continue to be good. But LSU, ironically, got to start with Arkansas when they get to Omaha. I haven't seen a day and a time yet. I know there's 2 games Friday, 2 Saturday, and I guess they're waiting for Duke and Murray State to decide their super regional tonight. But got to go against Arkansas, and everybody's saying that whoever wins that game in the driver's seat to maybe win the whole thing. But you still got to line up and play. You got to get 27 outs. And LSU, we thought in January, February that they had a great chance to go to Omaha, and now they're on their way.
Yeah, and it's exciting. And look, we were talking about this. First off, somebody asked me, well, who who would you rather play, Arkansas or Tennessee? I mean, I think that's you flip a coin really. I mean, they're both really good teams. I mean, for again, I mean, there's no right answer or wrong answer. I said Arkansas just because, I wanted to stay away from Liam Doyle, although he didn't have his best stuff yesterday when Tennessee needed him. But I mean, you got root for Arkansas, who's tough as can be. I mean, look, you beat both teams 2 out of 3 in the regular season. You never want to play a team when you've already beat them, especially when you get down in the NCAA tournament. So it's going to be a great matchup. I thought 3 of the best teams left were LSU, Tennessee, and Arkansas. I mean, call me SEC bias, but I knew, that's a shame that they've got to play each other. But eventually, you got to play somebody really good, and you got to play somebody that you think you probably should wait to later on. Might as well get the job done early and get Tennessee. Is probably thinking the same thing. Like they ran into Arkansas in the Supers when they probably all could have been in Omaha. So, yeah, 20th time for LSU getting to the College World Series. Said it last night on the broadcast. It never gets old. It's just fun to see that. It's fun to see that stadium for a Super Regional when the last out is going to send you up north to Omaha because the crowd doesn't leave. Everybody's there. Everybody wants to see the victory lap, and LSU's going to have their hands full with Arkansas, but they've got enough pieces. Throughout the year, everyone always asks Tommy, does LSU have enough? And it's a fun conversation and all this. Do they have enough pitching? Do they have enough guys in the lineup? Do they have enough whatever to win the College World Series? And I answered this question a month ago, a couple weeks ago. I said, look, they've got 2 frontline guys in Anderson and Ianson. You don't need a ton of pitching. Everybody thinks you need 10, 12 guys to run out there. You really don't. You need 2 workhorses, which is what they have. If you go look back at every national championship team, Tommy, they've got 2. You've got obviously a stud, and in this case, LSU's got 2 studs. And then you've got a couple guys out of the bullpen. Your third starter doesn't have to be the greatest pitcher in the world. He just has to get you some innings. And LSU has that. So, I mean, do they have enough pitching? They do. Now, would it help if they stayed in the winner's bracket and all that good noise? Of course. And that helps anybody. You don't want to, if you find yourself falling in a loser's bracket game where you got to come back through, then you got to have somebody do something special that maybe hasn't done it before. But to answer everybody's questions on whether they have enough pitching and enough offense and all that, they absolutely do. They just got to get the job done, and you got to get a little lucky. You got to be good. You got to have a little bit of both, and they're certainly good. I don't know how lucky they've gotten up to this point. I mean, I think they've done what they needed to do, and maybe they got a hair lucky with the draw. I think their regional and super regional draws were a hair lucky, but hey, again, you got to have that to win championships.
Buzzy, when you go back to 2023 when they won the national championship, they beat Florida in the 2 out of 3 championship series. They won the first game and third game, and a guy named Paul Skeens didn't throw 1 pitch in any of those 3 games. So
Right.
It is possible. And then to go back about who do you want to play, Arkansas or Tennessee? I remember the tennis great Roger Federer back when he was beating everybody. I remember somebody asked him about his opponent, and he said, "Hey, all I can ever do is play who's on the other side of the net." Well, LSU baseball, all you can ever do is play who's in the other dugout.
That's
And
right.
if it has to be Arkansas on Saturday night in Omaha or whenever they schedule it, then that's what you got to do. You're going to have to beat good teams to win the whole thing at some point. Might as well do it when you're going to have arrested Cade Anderson in all likelihood on the bump. So it's a great accomplishment for LSU. The fans will be in Omaha. They'll turn out like tremendously. We know that. All the people in Omaha, the business owners, ballrooms, restaurants, they were pulling for LSU. There's no question about that. So it's just another step in the story of the 2025 season, and we'll see how it plays out in Omaha.
What do they say? Get the Jello shots ready.
They're going to break the record. They're going to break it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
they hold it, and they can't not break it. I mean, they got
that's exactly right. I think we got to we got to figure out a number. I know 2 years ago it was in the, I want to say it was close to 70,000, maybe close to.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to figure out a number, and that'll be a good betting line, huh? If LSU fans will break their own record, which if I'm a betting man, I'm with you, Tommy. I say it's going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to happen. So LSU to Omaha, and we'll talk more about that later this week. Buzzy, Canadian Open yesterday, LSU Sam Burns loses in a fourth playoff hole. You got to credit Fox. He hit a money shot. on his approach shot on the par five on the fourth
Yep.
playoff hole, and then Burns three putted. He kind of goosed the first one a little bit, but still a nice paycheck for LSU's Sam Burns, and some exemptions that come with finish second in the Canadian Open. And then Buzzy, the U.S. Opens this week. Now, I've been to Oakmont. I was there in '07 when they played the U.S. Open, and I was there for 3 days walking the course. I followed Ian Poulter for 18 holes one day. That's one of the toughest golf courses in the world. Have you ever been there?
I've not. No, I haven't.
Yeah, no. I'm telling you, there's a par three on there that's like 272 yards, fourth or fifth hole. So the U.S. Opens at Oakmont this week, and it's fun because I have been there. When I was there. Angel Cabrera won it the year I was there
Oh
in
yeah.
'07, and he piped the drive on 18 when he had the one shot lead. And it's a great golf course, a lot of history. It's in one of the old courses. Of course, Johnny Miller shot a 63 there in the final round to win back in the early '70s. But I'm looking forward to the U.S. Open as I always do, and I know you are as well.
I am, and obviously big golfing fans. You and I. It's so to go back to Burns and Fox. It's funny, Obviously, Sam Burns, big fan of his, LSU boy, Louisiana boy, and you always pull for him. And he's had his struggles a little bit in the majors, but obviously a great talent, and you like to see him get back to the winner's circle. Hopefully, that'll give him some confidence. And what better, what better timing than to play well moving into a major, like you said, Tommy. But it's a funny story because Ryan Fox, I don't know if maybe a lot of people don't know a bunch about him. You obviously do because you keep up with golf. But a couple years ago, Mike Hollander and I are working the Masters, as a lot of people know, as gallery guards. And we first time we've ever seen a guy, Ryan Fox, and he's walking a little bow-legged. He's kind of he's a stocky little guy from New Zealand. Just looks like you. He's the guy if you get in a bar fight, you'd want him on your side, not the other guy. If you were drinking beer with him. And Mike told me, he said, Buzzy, he said, have you seen this Fox? And we called him Foxy. He said, have you seen this Foxy guy? I'm like, no. And he's like, dude, you're going to love him. You're going to love him. So actually, Ryan Fox has become a little bit of one of our favorite golfers for Mike Hollander. And of course, I was pulling for Sam Burns, again, being the LSU guy and the Louisiana boy. But if Burns couldn't win it, I am certainly excited for Ryan Fox, who, again, I don't know Ryan Fox from Adam. I just think he's a cool dude. He looks like he just don't give a care, and just gets up there, hits it. And again, he looks like he probably could whip you on the golf course and go have a couple dozen beers with you in the clubhouse after. But it'll be fun. Oakmont, I believe that's where Dustin Johnson won his U.S. Open a few, 2017, 18. And I remember him driving it. I mean, you had to drive it on a string. The rough was so crazy. But I'll definitely be locked into the U.S. Open. Father's Day weekend, the wife asked me, what do you want to do for Father's Day? That's usually kick the feet up on the recliner and put golf on from sun up to sundown. So lot of good time of the year. And when LSU makes it to Omaha, Tommy, let me say it like this: when they don't make it to Omaha, the summer gets really long, doesn't it? I mean, when they don't play, into June, it just becomes a long summer waiting on football season. So this makes it in these hot days down here in Louisiana. This makes it very nice to turn the TV on, get around somebody's pool or somebody's camp, and enjoy LSU baseball, which is the best time of the year.
Well, and certainly as soon as the schedule comes out for Omaha, everybody will make their plans whether LSU. There's two games Saturday and Sunday, 1 o'clock game and a 6 o'clock game. And as we know, the weather can get wacky in Omaha
It
too.
absolutely can.
So you have to keep that in mind. But 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock Friday, 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock Saturday. We don't know where LSU is yet. Again, you got one more team that has to punch their ticket. Murray State and Duke. Neither have ever been to Omaha. Have a chance to do that tonight. And I'll check that game out just for kicks and giggles.
Right.
Well, Buzzy, we really appreciate you joining us, the insight on LSU, a little golf talk. Always good to talk golf with you, and we certainly appreciate it. And we hope to visit with you again soon.
Yeah, anytime, Tommy. Thanks for having me, bud.
All right, that's Buzzy Hydell as he joins us. And don't forget the Baton Rouge Rougarou. We've got home games this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They'll be in Lake Charles to play the next two nights, Tuesday and Wednesday, at McNeese in Lake Charles against the Gumbo Gators. And then I got home games on the schedule for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Go to brrougarou.com, get your season tickets, get merchandise. You can get all that stuff at the ballpark, Pete Goolsbee Field. But Home games this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Rougarou. Don't forget, we're at Court Street Cafe, one of Buzzy's favorite places. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, Monday through Saturday. Steak night on Saturday night, filet or ribeye. They got it all. Check out Jason and staff. Great way to keep up with Court Street Cafe is connect on Facebook and Instagram. They do a great job with the lunch specials. Today it's red beans and rice. Dinner specials. They have a dinner of the week. Drink specials. Daiquiris here in the both service bar behind me. Check out Court Street Cafe as soon as you possibly can. All right, that's going to do it for this Monday morning edition of Sports Shorts Daily. As always, presented by the Liberos Casino and Hotel in Baton Rouge, where the ESPN Bet Sportsbook, where we'll be this Saturday morning for radio. You can bet on LSU, the College World Series, NBA Finals. How about that? Huh? 1-1. Going back to Indiana, Thunder with a big win last night. I think they're going to win the next 3 games. Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals. They won Game 2 last night. I want to thank Buzzy Hardell for pitch hitting for Ronnie Rants. We'll be back Wednesday morning from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood on Jefferson Highway. So until then, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.